I'm not the most privileged content creator in YouTube, but this time I was lucky having the chance to buy a pre-owned MoonSwatch for a decent price. And today we are looking at the MoonSwatch, the mission to the moon. The watch that puts tens of thousands of people in queues, and equally made a lot of people to overpay up to 10 times for these toy watches. However, in reality things are more superficial than I expected. And as for review, I also have the Mission to the Mars version, but I'll keep it for a separate side-by-side video, so please subscribe for future episodes. Thank you very much. Now, my theory of nothing says that if you'll buy a watch for 40% of its real value or receive it for free, you will never appreciate it as you should. But if you pay more or the right amount of money for the same watch, you'll respect it more because you understand where the money went. So it provides more substance and you'll enjoy it more. However, it's not the case with this MoonSwatch. Because as first impressions, I personally enjoyed this Moonwatch. I felt it fun and incredibly accurate for the details point of view. But I have to tell you that it reflects exactly the amount of money that you pay for it on retail. So please do not consider it as a gem, or especially do not overpay for it. Just wait for it until it will appear available online. I don't want to upset anyone, but that's the reality. Probably those people who overpaid for it, they must have had a bitter feeling when they opened the box. Now, I also noticed that this model is more appreciated by the people and reflects on the pre-owned market price because it represents the mission to the moon, being the closest version to the iconic Omega Speedmaster. And the second one feels to be the mission to the Mars because the rocket seconds from the subdials reminds us of the Alaska project model. So I will launch another video to discuss in depth this red version as well. Now, if we talk about the materials used on this MoonSwatch, which are simply not that tough to face some daily simple activities, this is not necessarily a daily beater, a stable or a robust watch that you can rely on, but just a fun plastic chronograph that will remind you how great the Omega Speedmaster was. For example, the bioceramic is pretty tough, but the crystal is not a regular Hesalite as I thought. It scratches immediately and unfortunately it cannot be polished. I tried with Polywash to remove some superficial scratches, but without success. I basically surrounded the plastic bezel with paper tape and polished the crystal 7 or 8 times, and no result. It feels like I haven't done anything to it. Where on a speedy Hesalite crystal, for example, after 2 or 3 polish sessions, you can tell the differences immediately. Now, purpose-wise, Swatch and Omega indeed succeeded to represent what they intended to, which is to offer for everyone this symbol of the Speedmaster and the Moonwatch. And it is exactly how I perceived it, as a memorabilia or a souvenir watch that you can buy to remember a visit to the Omega Museum or the Space Museum, where at the end of the exhibition you are able to grab an object and keep it somewhere to remind you of the event. Also, as purpose, Swatch and Omega increased as well the desirability around the Omega Speedmaster, and I think the Moonwatch, because of this MoonSwatch, will be better sold and appreciated. And not only by us, the watch enthusiasts, but also by the young generation that will probably enjoy this chronograph, wanting to have a real one in the future. So, mission accomplished, both Swatch and Omega. From the accuracy point of view, the MoonSwatch captures very well the spirit of the iconic Speedmaster, precisely the newer version of the Speedy. The case, besides the matte material, feels pretty accurate and also on the dial level. They copied the dial depth of the subdials with concentric circles, but also the minute track ring, which is angled towards the edges of the dial. And as accent, we also have a distinct color of the lumed markers. We have a beautiful patina color which stands out compared to the white indexes or the black-gray appearance of the overall case. And I mentioned lumed markers because this one has the classic speedy lumed markers applied, getting closer to the real one from this point of view. The case as well as the dial is pretty accurate with the original Moonwatch. Even the holes of this MoonSwatch matches the holes of the Speedmaster, and you can fit a bracelet on it. Now, the twisted case was designed in the 60s by Huguenon Frere Compagnie, a manufacturer that gave birth to famous cases, for example the Speedmaster, the Seamaster 300, the Doxa Sub 200 or the Ebenhard Scaphograph. So the MoonSwatch has the same case shape, but as finishing it is completely matted and has a grained texture. Now the movement inside it is pretty basic. We have the quartz chronograph ETA G211-212, which normally has a date complication, but in this case there isn't one. Now a fun thing to mention is how loud is this watch, because the body is made from plastic that conducts resonance, and the quartz mechanism is extremely noisy, and sometimes when you listen it feels similar to a wall clock. Now, as specifications, the watch measures 42mm in diameter, has a lug-to-lug of 47.3mm, a height of 13.25mm and 20mm between the lugs. It is very lightweight and weighs around 30 grams with the Velcro strap on it, also provides a water resistance of 30 meters. Now, some things to remember about this MoonSwatch: it's the boxed vintage-inspired plastic crystal, which is lesser polishable and more matted than a Hasselblad crystal. The body of the MoonSwatch is actually a monocoque case, means that there is no case back and the watch cannot be operated from underneath, except for the battery slot which is hidden below the moon cap. Yeah, that thing that colors people's wrists. So the servicing or the assembly of the MoonSwatch should be done from the front. Some more iconic details are consisting in the dot over 90 seconds present on the tachymeter scale, and surprise, the S logo which is embossed in the center and below the crystal, exactly as the vintage Omega models were offered. There is also the cool embossed Omega X Swatch logo on the crown, so pay attention Seiko, it is still doable for this price range. Now, the thing that adds the X factor to the MoonSwatch is the nylon strap, which provides that playful, quirky astronaut watch, but on a toy level. And this is indeed an adapted strap, because the original NATO was really long, which was worn above the suit by the astronauts during their missions. And the nylon and the way it's sewed feels to be durable, however the bottom link that has the plastic swivel feels to be pretty short. And as consequence, when the Velcro strap is folded through the swivel, it unbalances the way the watch stays on the wrist, and the extra material creates a disproportioned aspect on the lower part of the watch. And I personally would have made the bottom nylon link longer, so the folding should have happened below the wrist and not on the side. But the good part is that I have some preferred 7 Friends and Watches straps to try out and to see which one fits better. And I think this padded brown is too classic. The grey one works very well, but the black diamond pattern feels to do the trick. I think it looks amazing on this option. And as a solid conclusion, guys, the MoonSwatch is a fun watch, a great representation of what the Speedmaster Moonwatch represent. And I respect Swatch's move, and I think this initiative will give birth to similar collaborations in the future. But not being sure if this direction will be appreciated by us dear watch enthusiasts on a long term. Because in reality we're talking about a toy watch that feels like a toy watch. It doesn't give you the feeling of a chronograph, no matter if it's automatic or quartz. If you put it next to a Seiko Flightmaster or a Bulova Lunar Pilot, which are priced in the same range, you can perceive immediately the feeling of materials, substance and weight. Where this one remains somewhere on the toy level or a souvenir watch to remind us of how great the cold mornings were in the front of the Swatch stores. So hope you enjoyed this video and these MoonSwatch shots, and if you are new here, please consider subscribing for future episodes. Thank you very much, thanks for watching, and until next time, be brave but stay safe.